Hi guys, welcome back to RP32, and once again it's me, Rudra, and today we'll be looking at the final instalment of the England tour of India. England won the toss and they decided to bat first, but they didn't bat very well. Stokes was the highest scorer and only got 55 off 121, so yes, he made his half century, but he only got 55. It's a decent score, but it's not a good score by any means. And Dan Lawrence finally decided to join the party, I guess, for England, and he finally got some decent runs after getting out cheaply in all his other matches. This time he got 46. He batted decently, and he did miss out on his 50, which would have been great for him if he had gotten his 50. And it's just sad because he finally did well, but he just missed his milestone. So for India, Akshar Patel was the best bowler. Not by far, because Ashwin and Siraj were also good, but he got 4 wickets in 26 overs and he only gave away 68 runs. So he bowled very well like usual, because ever since he debuted in the second test, he's been getting so many wickets, and I think he's gotten a 5 for every match. Mohammad Siraj was the only seamer to get a wicket for India this match, and Ishant Sharma was playing, so it wasn't like there was no other seamer. But he took 2 wickets in the first innings. So India then came into bat. They wouldn't have been feeling that bad because it was England had scored 205 in their first innings, and India probably knew that they could do better. But then the top order, literally, they didn't do that well. Rohit Sharma was the top scoring batsman in the Indian top order, and he didn't even make a 50. He only got 49. They weren't doing very well, but they were somewhere in their low hundreds for, I think, around 4 or 5 wickets. Rohit Sharma just missed out on his 50 and he got 49 runs. So he only needed 1 more run, which is just sad because he missed his milestone. Rishabh Pant came in off of the back of I think in the last match he didn't do that well compared to previous matches. So he came off the back of that, and he would have definitely been looking to get more runs. But this time he did decide to turn up in the same pitch, and despite not doing too well, he went and got a century, which was one of the best innings he's ever played, because the way he batted against the spin bowlers was how you should be batting against spin bowlers, where he came down or he went on the back foot if it was short. So it was like a masterclass, because then he also showed up against the seamers, and he was just destroying the seamers, because in one Jimmy Anderson over, I think he hit a 6 and a 4, and he got so many runs off that over. And then in another Jimmy Anderson over again, right after the new ball came in, he just decided to go in and reverse sweep it, and it literally went high, so there was definitely the fear of a catch by the keeper, but it went high enough and long enough that it went over the keeper, and I think 1 bounce for a 4. So he definitely did very well in terms of getting runs and hitting, and it wasn't a slow century either, which is what you'd expect from Pant. You wouldn't expect anything slow. He got his 50 after I think 80 odd balls, but then he managed to get his 100 in 118 balls, so he definitely did very well in ramping up the runs after getting his 50. Washington Sundar also turned up, and we all know how good he can bat, because we've seen him get 85 not out, and even against Australia he got the runs. So he definitely came in and batted very well. I think this is probably his best ever test innings, because firstly he stayed not out, which as a lower order all-rounder is definitely what you should be looking to do, and he did that. He didn't bat especially fast, because he faced, I think, 174 balls. But he did stay not out, most importantly, and he got 96. So he just missed out on his century, and it was really sad to see him not get his century, because his partner, Akshar Patel, he finally batted well as in, decently. He got 43, and then he got run out, which was just sad, because, the run out was, it was luck. It was just confusion between the batsmen. That was the 8th wicket. So then Ishant Sharma came in, and he didn't bat well because he got out very quickly. So Washington was still stuck on 96. And then Siraj came in, faced 1 ball, that was a dot. He didn't even give Washington strike. But then not only that, but he got out the next ball. So Washington was just stuck at the other end while the other batsmen were just getting out in quick succession of each other. So he just missed out on his century in a really sad way. Stokes was the best England bowler, and this was the only innings in which England actually bowled. He took 4 wickets, and he was, like I said, he did very well in cleaning up the tail end. He got 4 wickets and nearly bowled 28 overs, which was the most for an England bowler, which is weird because on a spinning track they decided to bowl their pacer the most. The third and final innings saw England need to get 160 to at least get back into the game and get ahead, but it was looking more and more unlikely as the innings went on that they would even make 100. There was only Folkes and Lawrence left, and Lawrence was batting at number 3 earlier in the series, but he had been demoted down the order to I think number 6. So within 65 runs and 26 overs, the top order were all gone, and the best batsman by far was Dan Lawrence, who performed decently in the first innings but didn't perform amazingly. And so he didn't perform amazingly in the first innings, but in the second innings he did bat very well, and he did show how you should be playing against spin and how you would be looking to get runs. He did have a few edgy moments, so did Bunt and Washington, but again, it's fine because he got his half century. The second highest scorer for England was actually Joe Root, who had been completely out of sorts since he got his double century. And somehow he's been consistently getting some of the highest runs for England. How is 30 going to be the second highest score? You wouldn't expect that to be the second highest score for a team as good as England. So again, this time the spinners were superb for India. And in this innings alone, Akshar Patel and Ravi Ashwin both took 5-wicket hauls. So the entire England team had just been demolished by 2 bowlers. And their bowling figures were roughly the same. It should say somewhere there. Their bowling figures, and they were very similar. It's now time for the player of the match slot, and as you can expect, it has to be Rishabh Pant, who was excellent behind the stumps because his reflexes were so quick, and he took catches and stumping, and his batting was just we don't have to say anything. He got a century, and yeah, it was just elegant and fun to watch because he definitely took the game to the England bowlers. But it was just sad to see him get out trying to play a pull shot, which was actually a very good shot, and it rocketed off his bat, but it was just caught at mid-wicket. For the Unsung Heroes slot, there's not going to be an unsung hero, because I don't think that we could say any of the players that played well, which there weren't a lot of, were unsung, because everyone is getting praised if they played well. Dan Lawrence, even though his team lost, he's going to get praised. He finally played well in India, and I don't think there's any player that we can say is an unsung hero, because there were so few players that performed very well that they would all be recognized for what they did. So guys, that's it for today's video. In the next video, I'm going to be looking at how to play a good forward drive or a forward defense. So be sure to check that out to improve your batting. And it's going to be an active video, which means I'll be actively showing you. So see you guys next time. Bye. New.